Hello, friends, sisters, and brothers on the path of return. This is Keith Joseph from the Institute for Medic Studies. Today, I want to talk to you about an essay in this book, Introduction to Magic, from Julius Evola and the UR group. The Mark has mentioned that there's hopefully a course on the 3 volumes of the Introduction to Magic from the Institute coming soon. So hopefully this will help bring that about, bring that to fruition. So today I want to talk about a specific essay in this volume, but let me say a couple things about this tradition, or where this is coming from. So Evola is a traditionalist thinker or philosopher. And what that means is it's a little bit different than the word might normally be used. It doesn't mean like Ned Flanders, bow tie, 1950s, tradition, conservative kind of thing. That's not what they're talking about, or what he's talking about. Tradition refers to the idea that there's a primordial essence, or the idea of, what we're striving for, non-dual awareness, that reality, all religions that are genuine are kind of pointing or leading you to that. And that's the tradition. The tradition is the path to that reality, expressed in different ways, different cultural contexts. One way that I've been thinking about it lately is after taking the Institute's astrology class with Jamie Paul Lamb. I'll have a video about that in the future. It's a really excellent class. But one of the things that Jamie emphasizes is the kind of new age, I think he calls it hippie astrology, where you kind of say, you identify with your sun sign. I'm a Pisces, or I'm a Leo, or whatever. The sign is the way that the planet's energies are expressed in you. So if my sun sign is Pisces, it's a mistake to say I'm Pisces. What's really, the sun is expressed through Pisces. And so the sign, I would draw an analogy between the sign and the religion. The tradition is expressed in that religion in a particular way. And if it's an authentic religion and an authentic teaching, it will bring you to the source. It'll bring you back to that non-dual awareness. And that's the idea. In a nutshell, it obviously can be made more complex. But that's not what I really want to focus today. I really want to kind of think about this one essay in the text. It's early in the text. It's by, the writer's name is Abraxas. They wrote anonymously. They felt that their individual personalities were not important, so I'll just go with that. I won't investigate who the author is. I don't think it's hard to figure out, though. But it isn't Evola. So this essay is called 3 Ways, and I wanted to relate it to the assumption of the God form. I think it is an assumption practice. It's also a practice that Mark describes differently, but in the year 1 of the questions and answers, which is available on the website, the Teachable website. I'll link that in the description. I want to begin just by giving you an idea what this text is about. He says, by now you should understand what the main task of our art is. Detach yourself from the human substance that you are made of and be regenerated in the solar strength. Be transformed by it into a being or into a breathing center freed from bonds of sublunar natures. You must wear out the thirst, the fever, and the endless and dark yearning for existence. This is the condition for going beyond the law of men. So we're in the Bible, for example, Christ is saying, right, you must be born again, you must be born into life, otherwise you're going to die. If we identify with this physical body, if that's who we believe we are, if that's our identity, then we are going to die. This body decays and dies. That's just what it is. And life isn't there. Life is in the primordial consciousness, the primordial awareness that is within us, but we don't usually identify with. And so we want to switch our identification to that. We want to be that and not just limit ourselves to our physical bodies, or our minds, or our thoughts, or our name, right? Some I am Keith, right? Whatever your name is. A lot of people identify with those things rather than the pure awareness or pure being that we also are, or more truly are. So the text is called Three Ways, and what he's describing are three different ways of bringing about that awareness or bringing about that experience. And the first way is almost spontaneous. It doesn't involve preparation on the practitioner's part. It could be the result of just kind of beginner's practices. You don't really know why you're doing the practice. You don't really know what you're doing, but you still have this insight. He mentions hatha yoga or just spontaneous experiences. In fact, there's the first essay in this volume is about such an experience. As an aside, I have this soft cover version and the pages fall out. You might, if you're interested, if you're taking it seriously, you might get the hardcover version. It's a little more expensive, but if you have the spread, I think it's worth it. But the real two practices of the three ways, the two ways that are really crucial or important that I want to focus on, one he calls the mystical path, and the other he calls the magical path, or the mystical way and the magical way. The mystical way he describes as feminine, the magical way as masculine. The feminine is passive and the masculine is active. It's not so much about men and women, but just this idea of passive and active. The mystical way is the path of devotion. Sometimes we call it bhakti yoga. It's the path of worship, becoming the devotee of a deity. And the magical way, or the active way, is just establishing the ideal of yourself, the ideal that you will become, and then working towards that. So you're not so much involved in worship, you're involved in this act of self-creation. He emphasizes that the paths are kind of continuous, they flow into each other. All three can be used kind of together, and they balance out their shortcomings. So the shortcoming of the mystical path is that you can kind of get stuck in duality. You can get stuck in this kind of mode of worship, and you never really merge with the deity. You don't become the deity. The challenge with the magical path, I think the movie Fight Club kind of displays that perfectly, right? In Fight Club, he does this. I would imagine you've seen the movie. If not, it's definitely worth watching. But it's a psychotic method, right? Because the ideal that he creates isn't perfect. It's a psychotic kind of ideal. So the mystical path, the idea here in both cases, you're establishing a double, another, and in the case of the mystical path, that's the deity, right? Like the idea, the imitation of Christ, that kind of idea. And so you establish the other, the deity, the other being, and they are with you all the time as a helper, as a friend, as a guide, give you directions, as an ideal to aspire to. One thing that I've been doing, because we want to be, as we progress along the path, our ethical life should be progressing also. And in this world, we don't have these dramatic moments of, moral choice. Maybe we do sometimes, but not often, right? It's more like simple interactions with other people. So I've been saying to myself, I am the light of the world. I don't tell other people that. I say it to myself. I don't, it's not, I'm trying to be arrogant about it, but in that way, when I'm interacting with other people, I'm trying to be that light. I'm always trying to be positive. I don't complain. At least I try not to. I try to be the light in the room or in the relationship so that it's positive and hopefully elevate others that way. And I think that's an ethical practice, and it's also related to this practice. So, and you might try it. I kind of love it, to be honest. It's a really nice practice. So you establish the deity as the other, and you just kind of develop into that relationship. The magical path, where you have the ideal that you're striving towards, is a similar idea. It's just that now you're creating the being that you'll become. He explains at the end of this essay what the result of that practice would be. So he says, then the solar and golden nature in you will be able to break the equilibrium and be the stronger one. In other words, you'll become the ideal. The other nature, yourself, he has capital S, self. Also, this is a translation. The original is just the I without any other identity. I am, like Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am. That's the capital S, self. Yourself, your senses, your mind will be under your control. At that point, you can even suspend them and make them inert, neutralized, and fixed. This is silence, the extinction of mania, the dissolving of the fog. Then in your clarified eye, the cyclical integral vision will shine forth, and you will see your transcendent essence, the destiny of beings and of all things, and the kingdom of those who are. You'll grasp the mode of action in a pure state, and you'll grasp the mode of immaterial motion that operates outside of every space or body in timeless creative rapidity. The center will amalgamate with the universal non-becoming nature. So there's a lot there, but the idea is, when we're in the world of becoming, we're in the world of change, we're in the world of dying, death, decay. When we're in the world of being, we are outside of that. We're outside of time, we're outside of space, we're outside of the world of becoming. So that's where life is. That's the idea of the practice. So I'll leave it at that. I hope that that is interesting and compelling. If you would, if you're interested in Evola, interested in more, discussing more of these essays, please leave a comment. If you've worked with this practice or a similar practice, have questions about it, please leave a comment. I'm really interested in this text, so if others are as well, I will continue to discuss it. That's it for now, and see you in the next video.